Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another one of our little fun interviews here, and I've got Adriana, the lazy millennial, with me. Which, come on, that name, come on. Okay, we actually got connected on LinkedIn, as I think you might be noticing as a trend with a lot of people that I've been bringing on these because there's really cool people on LinkedIn. Who'd have thunk? And what I fell in love with when we first chatted is Adriana has a focus on neurodivergent operations, which is great because as a neurodivergent, right, as an ADHD individual, operations, structure, documentation, processes, maybe not my strongest point. So finding people like Adriana makes me really excited. She's an award-winning consultant. She is a writer. She's a documentation and streamlining genius. And I asked her to come in today and talk with us, breaking down organizational design for the neurodistinct individual. So, Adriana, thank you for coming.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to talk about this today.
I'm so excited. Okay, I've been like, we planned this interview, and I've been like, I've had this in my mind because I feel like organizational design is one of those things that it's almost like KPI, right? In the marketing world, I'll be like,
Mhm.
oh, you need your KPIs, and people are like,
What
what's
is
a
that?
KPI? Right. So quick question. What exactly is organizational design? Why does it matter? Can we break this down a little bit?
Yeah, I got you. So, organizational design, I feel like there's so many technical terms about it, but honestly, all you're doing is creating a shell of your business. So, like, they tell us to have business plans and stuff. It's pretty much kind of the same thing. The only difference is that you're focusing also like on the end goal. So, like, if you're planning to exit your business, if you're planning on staying solo, whatever it is, whatever your plans over the next however many years you want to run your business, that's kind of what you're thinking of. So you're kind of thinking of the big picture with organizational design, and you're just creating like different processes and all that good stuff to match you towards your exit goal.
Okay. So, and I know you've worked with quite a few small businesses over the past few years. I want to say 50 plus on this exact
Mhm.
process. What would you say is the most common misconception that small businesses have when they're looking at organizational design?
I'll say, okay, so like the first thing, it's mainly seen in corporate offices. So like corporate, they're like, oh, like we need the organizational design instructor or whatever, like instructional design, whatever. But anyway, so the
Right.
first thing is just like, oh, that's for bigger businesses. I don't need that. Yes, we do, guys.
Uh,
We do. And I know they don't really teach it to us, but that is
they
something
don't
that
teach us a lot of stuff though. Come
I
on.
know. I feel like they just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like they like miss the
They,
bar.
I was just gonna say
I
they,
know.
whoever they are falling down.
I know because like there's so many websites stuff before I get over, but like overall, like the main thing is like one is they see it as only like a corporate thing. And then like even for corporate, it's just like they only see it as like, I don't know, like it's specialized or something like that. Like not everyone needs it. It's just like, oh, we've been operating for X amount of years. Like we don't need that stuff. And it's like, yes, you do, because like people change roles, there's new CEOs, there's new shoot, even employees and the type of people you're trying to attract. You need to figure out like, okay, here I am in this day and age. Let me figure out what kind of stuff I
Yeah.
actually need so that people will actually stay with our company and we can actually stay running for however long.
I really appreciate that you brought that up. I think because that actually is an excellent point, even for me. Like as you were talking, I'm sitting here going, you know what? You're right. Like we, as a small business, we
Mhm.
evolve our processes and our systems and our organizational design. We've just kind of done it organically. I don't think I've ever really
Yeah.
noticed that, but I know I talk with a lot of small business owners who almost freak out about like we need to get it documented and then we're going to follow it. That's
Yeah.
this is going to be it for it. And it really is a little bit more of an organic process. It does evolve to keep up with the business, to keep up with the, economy changing. I always say small business owners, one of our greatest strengths is that we can be very flexible. We
Yeah.
can make change very quickly. And this I think is part of it. So I would assume you have some people who work with you at one stage in the business and then again at another and then again at another and again
Right.
at another. Fair.
They tend to come back at a different stage. So it's like the beginning phase, they're like, okay, I'll come maybe like a one-on-one, and then afterwards they'll come back at a later thing, like, hey, I'm ready to do this now. So it's just like, oh,
So that's one of the perks I think then is finding someone, and even if they just connect with you just to, ask questions and connect and just is rather than trying to work with an organizational design consultant or program that maybe is built for big businesses, finding someone. And what I love about you is you have you are a neurodistinct or neurodiverse individual. You get to work with a lot of us crazies. Because what's the saying? I'll tell you a secret, all the best in the world are. What do you think is probably the biggest challenge when you are working with neurodivergent, neurodiverse individuals wanting to implement organizational design? Where do they get stuck?
Okay, so even for myself, I'll say my thing was like, even though I could see the bigger picture sometimes, like the day to day used to be like, oh my God, I don't feel like doing this. So I usually, well, for myself, I would say I
Fair.
had to come up with like my own system, but like even for my clients, it's just like, hey, if you only need to focus on this day and age, because like a lot of us have kids and stuff too. So like they're like, I want to do X, Y, Z, and I know this will help, but I can't do it right now. It's just like, then don't. Because I feel like, again, I feel like there's so much energy to be like, we gotta hurry up and do this. Like, you should have like six
Yeah.
figures next month and things like that. It's like, no, work at the path, work at the speed that you can. And I feel like if we overwhelm our brain, we're not gonna get anything done. So like the main thing is just like overwhelm. Like we feel like we have to like pile on different things and we end up stuck, all this good stuff. Like, no. Like if you can only give energy into like maybe doing like sales activity or something like that for the week, focus on that and nailing that, and then add on something else. Like once you're like, okay, I'm cool with that, this is like going off, I found my way, add something else. Like if I promise you guys, business will still be there, things will still operate. It's just work one thing at a time and master that.
Okay, y'all, I did not coach her to say that. Okay. Like that is the same thing I say all the time. I'm like, look, we have to get over this idea. Done is better than perfect, and do what you can and stop beating yourself up.
Right.
That was perfect. I was just sitting here going, fabulous.
Yeah.
I don't have to say any of
I
that.
know. It's just like those little things. Like we feel like we have to rush. And it's like no. Like seriously, just one thing. Like stuff will still be okay. I promise.
And I love that you really spoke to that point. I think one of the strengths for us as neurodivergent individuals, as individuals with ADHD or autism or whatever it happens to
Mhm.
be, I think one of our strengths is that we do have the capability to create more in less
Right.
time or with less. And there's 2 points on that that I always try and hit on. One is we can only do that when we're leaning into our strengths. And two is it doesn't mean that you need to do more all the time, right? Like just because I can get more done in 3 hours doesn't mean that I now need to go work a full 8 to 9 hour day because that's what everyone else is doing. If I can get my work done faster, then great, that gets to be. So I love that you just hit on those. That just makes me
Yep.
so freaking happy. So let's say someone's got some questions for you. Where do they find you? How can they connect with you at this point?
Okay, so I will say my biggest hangout spot is LinkedIn, but I'm also, lo and behold, it's random, but I'm also on Alignable, trying to get more active on there, and Facebook also too. I'm kind of more not wild, but I post a little more weird stuff on there because yeah. But you can find me on there. But I was like, you want more professional side? Like this is the
So,
place to be at for me.
so if you want the unhinged side,
Yeah,
go to
there we go. I was
Facebook.
like, I was trying to think of a different term, but yeah, I'm pretty much unhinged. Then
All
Facebook.
right, yeah. All right. So we're gonna connect on Facebook now because I really want to
Yep.
see this. Adriana, this was fantastic. Real quick before we go, where did the lazy millennial come from? Just, curiosity.
Honestly, it just stemmed from me finally breaking down my VA agency. And I was just like, I want a term that people stick with, but also like ties into what I do with the process, SOVs and stuff. It's like lazy. Everyone's like, people are lazy if they don't want to work much. It's like, oh, it's better. But anyway, and then millennial, I'm a millennial. It just works.
That's, I think it's great, right? Like your whole point is let's enable. Yeah, you want to be perfect. You want to be a lazy millennial? Great. You have to get
Yep.
organizational design in place. So,
Yep. Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Adriana. I've very much enjoyed getting to know you. I look forward to whatever we get to do next. I think we'll be doing some very fun stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
this was a blast, and thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Of course. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.